What's going on? This is a crypto market recap for Thursday, April 3rd. I gotta say, I like what I'm seeing in the crypto sector compared to the stock market sector anyways. Well, as far as Bitcoin anyways, but it's good to see Bitcoin holding up better than the stock market. I know the altcoins haven't been faring as well across the boards, but Bitcoin itself is holding up. So it's kind of like... Bitcoin is a riskier asset technically than the stock market. So to see it holding up is kind of given green lights essentially. So we broke out of this equilibrium. We're still looking for a daily lower high than 64.34% on the Bitcoin dominance. As far as Bitcoin itself, we are still in this equilibrium pattern. Sorry, I got a bunch of lines here. We held the low so far, but we need to break the high of today to set that higher low at this point. I'm still looking at this like in the upper trend line, but yeah, we're still higher than our most recent low. So Tuesday, March 11th. If I go to this was March 11th on the stock market. That's the low there. And compared to this, the S&P 500, so the best 500 companies in the world are down significantly from that recent low. Down 2.5% from there. So it's telling me that cryptos, or Bitcoin anyway, is stronger. But yeah, we're still watching this equilibrium pattern play out. We do have the daily 12 moving average above us now, which I don't like seeing. But yeah, need to change the trend back to the bulls. 4-hour trend ideally here. We've made enough room now that I would be looking at this like a potential inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour. Okay, so yeah, Ethereum, same kind of thing, but we did break down here. It's just overall been weaker than Bitcoin and kind of been held down by this daily 12 moving average. There will be a time where that does shift. We're also approaching weekly oversold on this. So historically, weekly oversold has been the buy, and we saw a giant run from there. So we are coming to some sort of bottom at some point here. I know it's been a rough go for a while for crypto, so it's been since December essentially. And I understand everyone's getting tired of losing money. But yeah, all right, so XRP still holding up from its most recent low, so that's good to see. We're just looking at this like an equilibrium still, trying to set this weekly higher low actually. This is a weekly equilibrium at this point. So we're seeing if we can hold this low still. Like we have a low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and we're still waiting to confirm this. We need to change the 4-hour trend to give us more conviction here. We've got a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders possibly setting up. So XRP's relative, it's still holding over its monthly 12 moving average. So I'm still bullish on crypto. Like, Bitcoin, XRP, BNB, maybe a couple other names, but I think Cardano, possibly Cardano. Still bullish on those type of names that are closer to their most recent highs, and that's what I would be focused on with you guys as well. Litecoin saw a lower low today, so we don't like seeing that, but it was a lower low without any follow through at this point. So we kind of had a daily bear flag and we broke down without any follow through. We need to break the high of today, and that would be a fake out for the bears essentially, and I would be cautious as a bear at that point that maybe, and this was a significant support here. So if we break down and then don't get a follow through, it's caution to the bears, but also a good sign for the bulls. Hype, just looking at its all-time lows at this point. Don't like that. That's a very bad look at this point. BNB. Definitely one of the better names. We did break down, but not a lot of follow through at this point, and closed above. So we set a lower low, but no follow through at this point. We need to break the high of today, ideally, and get back, set an inverse head and shoulders here. Make a bigger move on the 4 hour so we can set up an inverse head and shoulders, just like the other names that are setting that up. We've made it to the 0.5, which is still healthy on this pullback, that we could go straight into a higher high. We have pulled back enough that the odds do favor a lower high, but we just don't want to have to go back to the golden pocket, because then we just could see a long drawn out equilibrium at this point. Solana, weak, losing its low, but no follow through at this point, so that is good. Oh, it might have actually held. It either held or it double bottomed there. 112.31. Okay, so we broke down with no follow through. I was looking at this like an equilibrium, and to see that break down, we don't want any follow through at this point. So need to break the high of today and start heading back up. Otherwise, this is an equilibrium break to the downside and can definitely push us lower. Ondo, trying to set up kind of an equilibrium here at this point, trying to set a daily higher low. Let's see what it looks like on the 4 hour. So we got a potential for a 4 hour inverse head and shoulders at this point. Actually, we haven't even fully set the right shoulder, so we'll see if it can break this resistance here. But yeah, trying to set a daily higher low at this point. So we've got this big upper wick here, which don't like to see, but we need to break that to set a daily higher low, and we need to regain our 4 hour trend and break this, keep our 4 hour uptrend alive. So we broke through here, broke this support without a lot of follow through, and then we're trying to regain our 4 hour uptrend at this point. Link, just daily or weekly equilibrium at this point. We need to hold this 1188 level, otherwise we're looking back down to these lows. This got this trend line that we're looking at and a potential inverse head and shoulders, but I would be expecting a lower high on the way back up because we've retraced a significant amount on the way down. Sui, changing the daily trend with no follow through yet, but we're right there to push down more, so don't like seeing that. This was the right shoulder as well, so we've retraced a lot. That I would just be looking for a lower high on the way back up, and that's not what we want to see. Overall, this is just a weekly bear flag at this point, so not looking good at this point. XLM, just looking for a daily higher low than 22.227. Haven't set that yet. We had a daily uptrend going, and then we broke all supports. Actually, we did confirm a daily downtrend, so we need to get back to the bulls here. Otherwise, we're in trouble. We do have a kind of a trend line here at this point. Actually, let's see what. I mean, this has kind of been, yeah, we're at this trend line actually. So we're at this important trend line. We need to break that trend line and get above the daily 12 moving average. Cardano, so now we've broke down, changed our daily trend bearish, and we've broken down again with trying to put a breakdown with no follow through. So we're trying to set a daily higher low right away, and that would kind of make me look at kind of a falling wedge at this point. Potential that this could be shaping up, and that's might be what I'm looking at this point. But yeah, we need to break the high of today and head towards this upper trend line. Dogecoin, so we had this inverse head and shoulders, we're failing, and no follow through at this on this daily trend change yet, but it can easily happen. We are looking down at this support level, so we're ideally need to set a higher low than that, but I would be expecting a lower high on the way back up and possibly an equilibrium play out. H bar just kind of getting held down by this 12 moving average, so we broke down as well, broke daily support with not a lot of follow through. We need to break the high and set that immediately and give more power to the bulls. Mochi, double bottom at this low right now. Actually, we might have broke it. Yep, we broke it with no follow through yet. Need to break the high and give more power to the bulls. Alpha, just straight up sell off. No sign of the bulls at this point. This is kind of this is a meltdown mode, and I don't like that. We're just looking at this all-time low here, or this support. What are we even looking at here? Just looking at all-time lows, essentially. Down at, yeah, this is not what I would be focusing on if you're getting into. And unfortunately, if you got in up at the highs, this is quite a significant move down. So down 76%, and this is something a lot needs to happen to turn around. Like it's in very, very big trouble. Alpha, Caspa, trying to find a weekly higher low at this point. Still haven't found it. Daily bear flag breakdown with no follow through. Need to break the high of today though, and give more power to the bulls. AVAX, looking at this like a weekly inverse head and shoulders. Still trying to sort out this right arm though. Not a lot of follow through on this daily bear flag break, but it can easily happen. We are just looking at the lows here at 1527, and when we do bounce, or when or if we do bounce, we're just looking at a lower high on the way back up. Ton, so we broke out of this rising wedge I was looking at, and now we're looking for support, which we have not found yet. We broke this support initially. No follow through at this time, but we need to start bouncing right now. Change the hourly trend bullish, and then we're kind of looking at this like a head and shoulders possible pattern. I would just be looking for a lower high on the way back up when we do see our next daily bounce, but no sign of that yet. We need to break the high of today and start with the hourly trend change. Trump, daily bear flag here. So, we're trying to put in a reversal hammer here, which actually we've broken above now, so we're started bouncing on the daily. We need to bounce as much as possible so we can set up probably a lower high than this, and then we would be looking at a inverse head and shoulders potential. So we're looking for a lower high now. We are bouncing on the daily. We're looking for a lower high than 1065, and we will see where that comes from. It's not impossible to just plow right through it. It's just the most likely scenario at this point is to see a lower high than that at this time, and we'll see if we can form a right shoulder. Okay, so that's it for today. Yeah, we're pretty rough in the stock market right now. We are reaching points where I'm seeing long-term investments potential. We're approaching weekly oversold on the S&P, so this can easily get lower or get a little uglier before it gets better. But I mean, the bulk of most of these moves has happened now, I think, for crypto. And I think we're getting into territories that are into heavy buy situations. So we're reaching those weekly oversolds, and historically, if you go back in the charts, weekly oversolds tend to be the buying opportunity place for longer term investments. And let's see what we're at here. Yeah, okay, so for a lot of these names, actually, there is more room to the downside as far as crypto goes. Where's Bitcoin looking? There is a lot of room to the downside for the weekly RSI, but I think when the stock market turns around, it will turn the crypto sector around as well, and people will trust more riskier assets. And also, the more the S&P goes down, the more the likelihood that we will see rate cuts. So that could be very much in the near future. They're already upping the probabilities of rate cuts in June now instead of July. So the further we go down, the more eyes are going to be on the stock market to fix that problem, and interest rate cuts will be the thing to do. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow, and good luck out there. I know this is getting rough, and hopefully the end is near. Take care. Bye.